You've probably heard of Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack, but there's a good chance you missed this 2010 Cartoon Network series, Sym-Biotic Titan. It only ran for one season with 20 episodes, yet it gained praise for its serious tone and strong storytelling before being cancelled too early. Here's the setup. Lance, Alana, and Octis are aliens hiding on Earth after escaping Galuna, which was taken over by General Modula and his Mutradi monsters. When danger strikes, Octis activates the Sym-Biotic defense system. Together, they combine as heart, body, and mind to form Sym-Biotic Titan, a giant robot built to fight threats too powerful for them alone. So, without further ado, let's begin. A rift gate opens in the sky, and a spaceship crashes into a forest near Sherman, Illinois. From it emerge Lance, Alana, and the robotic Octis. Lance treats Earth as hostile, while Alana is curious and unafraid, constantly clashing with his strict mindset. Soon, the military surrounds them, mistaking them for invaders. A chaotic fight breaks out until the trio escapes and decides to hide by posing as students at Sherman High under the name Lunas. Blending in proves difficult. Ilana stands out socially, Octis becomes a school prodigy, and Lance unexpectedly gains popularity. Meanwhile, on Galuna, Modula survives and seizes power, sending a Mutradi monster through the rift gate to hunt Alana on Earth. A massive mega beast arrives and begins destroying the city. Alana insists on stopping it, while Lance warns that revealing themselves could bring more danger. When the situation worsens, they are forced into action. The military attacks both the creature and the trio, escalating the chaos. Octis merges with Lance and Alana to form Sym-Biotic Titan. After a brutal battle across the city involving fire, water, and military weapons, the Titan destroys the Mega Beast. The trio escapes unnoticed and later reflects on the consequences of exposing their secret to Earth. Alana, Lance, and Octis settle into suburban life by posing as the Lunas family and buying a house. While Octis focuses entirely on security systems, Alana becomes frustrated by the empty home and sneaks off to the mall despite Lance's warnings. Lance follows her, annoyed but clearly worried about her safety, while Ilana grows tired of him treating her like she cannot handle herself. Their constant arguments slowly reveal a softer side beneath Lance's serious attitude. At the mall, Alana enjoys Earth culture while Lance remains on edge, even mistaking an overly friendly lotion salesman for a threat. Meanwhile, on Galuna, Modula sends another deadly robotic beast to hunt them down. The monster eventually tracks Lance's armor signal, forcing the trio into another dangerous battle. Back at home, Octis struggles to maintain his Mr. Lunas disguise while working with their kind neighbor Barb to set up protection around the house. Once the monster attacks, Lance and Alana barely escape the military before regrouping with Octis. Together they form the Sym-Biotic Titan for the first time under its new name. During the fight, Lance disconnects from the Titan and bravely destroys the monster from the inside. Later that night, the trio quietly share cookies in their empty living room. Alana begins questioning why her father trusted Lance so much, while Lance secretly leaves her a snow globe from the mall. A mysterious ocean rock is opened by General Steele against Solomon's warnings, unleashing a massive living storm that begins destroying the suburbs. Steele sees Sym-Biotic Titan as a threat, while Lance, Alana, and Octis struggle with their own growing tension during training. Lance favors offense, Alana prefers defense, and their constant arguing causes the Titan to malfunction and crash. Meanwhile, Octis tries to fix their relationship using lessons from a children's show, Animal Friends, with mixed results. As the storm creature attacks, Alana rushes in alone before the others join her. The trio forms Titan and fights while still bickering. After repeated failures, Octis reminds them that trust is essential. They finally cooperate, absorb the storm's energy, and destroy it. The Titan crashes into Steele's base, and Lance panics when Alana is briefly unconscious, showing how much he cares. The next day, their school report earns praise, proving that despite everything, teamwork is the only reason they succeed. On Galuna, rebel fighters struggle to protect refugees from relentless Mutradi attacks, while rumors spread about Lance's dangerous mission with Princess Alana. Meanwhile, Modula uses the creature Zixi to dig through the king's mind, learning that Alana has allies on Earth. Zixi is immediately sent to eliminate them. Back on Earth, Lance has a terrible day at school, dealing with annoying classmates, broken lockers, and boring lessons. While Ilana and Octis try to improve the school cafeteria with homemade Galilunian food, Lance stays distant and moody, clearly missing the thrill of battle. Later that night, unable to sleep, Lance secretly stops a hostage situation, earning the nickname Phantom Ninja on the news. His late-night heroics boost his popularity at school, helping Ilana attract students to her food party, though the constant missions leave him exhausted. Things spiral when Zixi tricks Lance into a trap and tortures him for information about Ilana. After escaping, Lance rushes to Sherman High just as Zixi attacks Ilana and Octis. The fight forces them to form the Sym-Biotic Titan, driving Zixi away before he sends footage of the Titan back to Modula. Later, Ilana feels hurt when Lance misses the food party, but her mood changes when he shows up handing out their food to students. Even with all the chaos, Lance still finds a way to support her, though Gwen would probably say he just wanted free lunch samples. On the way to school, Ilana stresses over being late while Lance casually tries to relax her, which only annoys her more. Their attention shifts to a flashy red sports car weaving dangerously through traffic. Lance and Octis admire it instantly, while Ilana calls the driver reckless. At school, the driver turns out to be Mike Chan, a cocky street racer who mocks Lance and humiliates him in front of everyone. Things get worse when Ilana gets marked late and embarrassed in class, putting her in an even worse mood. During lunch, Lance jokes about driving, but Ilana shuts him down with another lecture about rules, making Lance sarcastically mutter that she probably dreams about traffic laws at night. Determined to prove himself, Lance and Octis secretly rebuild an old wrecked car using Galilunian tech. Lance soon ends up challenged by Mike to an illegal street race through a construction site. Despite pulling off insane stunts, Mike cheats and leaves Lance caught by the police. Thankfully, Ilana helps get him released, though not without reminding him he still needs a real license. After finally passing his driving test, Lance is thrown into action when another Mutrati monster attacks. Mike and his gang try interfering again, but Lance uses his driving skills to outmaneuver both them and the creature. Reuniting with Ilana and Octis, they form the Titan and destroy the monster together.
Expected more from you guys.
By the end, Lance earns respect from both his friends and classmates, while Ilana reluctantly admits he might actually be a decent driver after all. After another rough night of terrifying dreams, Lance and Ilana are shaken when Octis reveals a rift gate opened while they were asleep. The trio investigates in the Titan and discovers a strange ancient stone covered in glowing symbols. The next morning, both Lance and Ilana realize they shared the exact same dream about the stone, while Octis strangely remembers nothing after they went to sleep, which immediately raises suspicion. At school, things spiral fast. Lance begins seeing disturbing visions of his father and terrifying monsters, while Ilana experiences horrifying hallucinations of people begging for help. The emotional stress finally pushes both of them to run from school, only to reunite and discover a mysterious dark-robed shaman waiting inside their house. The figure attacks them with powerful mind-based magic, trapping them inside horrifying nightmares tied to their deepest fears and guilt. Luckily, Octis arrives just in time, helping them escape and form the Titan. Even then, the shaman's mental attacks weaken their teamwork badly. During the battle, Lance enters Ilana's nightmare and helps her realize the visions are illusions. With their minds finally clear, the Titan defeats the giant stone creature and stops the shaman. Titan battles a massive frog-like blob creature in the middle of the city, but every attack fails as the monster instantly regenerates. The situation gets worse when the blob swallows Titan whole. Inside the creature, Octis discovers that high-frequency radio waves are its weakness, allowing Titan to escape after blasting it apart. After the victory, the trio heads to school, unaware that a tiny piece of the blob hitched a ride inside Ilana's bag. Things quickly spiral when the blob reforms and engulfs the entire school, trapping everyone inside while smaller creatures hunt the students. Lance, Ilana, and Octis split up, trying to survive the chaos. Octis eventually discovers that cell phone signals weaken the creatures, leading to a clever plan where every student uses their phones as weapons. In the end, the students defeat the creatures together. Meanwhile, Octis unexpectedly becomes Meat's science lab hero, which is somehow the weirdest outcome of the entire episode. After Lance's father vanishes through a rift gate, a funeral is held with an empty casket. Even so, Lance refuses to believe he is gone and clings to the hope that he will return one day. He is later enrolled in a military training academy, where he is immediately singled out by Baron, a wealthy student, and his two followers. They bully him constantly, trying to break his spirit. Instead, the pressure pushes Lance to train harder than ever. Through sheer determination, he rises above them and ultimately earns top marks in the final exam, receiving a Medal of Excellence. Baron, unable to accept defeat, snaps during the award ceremony and attempts to kill Lance. Forced into a corner, Lance activates his Manus, triggering a massive robotic conflict that tears through the academy grounds and leaves half the campus in ruins. Both Lance and Baron are arrested, though Baron is quickly bailed out by his family. Lance is not so lucky. The king meets him afterward for a quiet conversation. Lance refuses to explain everything about the incident. The king expresses disappointment, saying this is not what Lance's father would have wanted. In that moment, Lance finally lets go of the hope he had been holding on to. The king assigns him to repair the damaged academy over the summer, while the other students return home to theirs. General Madula, frustrated by his repeated failures against the Sym-Biotic Titan, decides to deploy his most dangerous Mutrati weapon yet. He sends a planet-destroying creature toward Earth inside a missile, expecting it to finish the job once and for all. Lance, Ilana, and Octis intercept the missile mid-air before it can reach the planet. Inside the wreckage, they discover a sealed pod containing what looks like a harmless, soft, marshmallow-like creature. Ilana instantly melts, calling it mushy, while Lance stubbornly renames it Terrax. Octis, being Octis, labels it Mutrati Specimen 497. For a brief moment, it feels like a win. The creature is cute, calm, and oddly affectionate. Lance even jokes that it's the first alien that doesn't try to kill them immediately. Octis does not laugh. That illusion breaks when Octis discovers the truth. Mushy 497 is not harmless at all. It is a living bomb. In Earth's atmosphere, it destabilizes over time, and when it eventually dies, it will trigger an explosion capable of destroying the entire planet. Realizing they cannot keep it on Earth, the trio makes a difficult decision. Forming the Sym-Biotic Titan, they carry Mushy 497 into space. The creature, still calm, gently fades away before detonating safely far from Earth. The explosion creates a bright new formation in the sky. After a short debate, they name it Tashi 497, blending all their names and Octis's classification. Ilana calls it beautiful. Kimmy, the cheer squad captain, risks being kicked off the team unless she passes a math exam. Her only option is tutoring from Newton. Their first meeting is already tense. Kimmy immediately tries to get him to do the test for her, but Newton refuses, even when she brings up past grudges like the coffee incident that ruined her cheer uniform. Eventually, he reluctantly agrees to help her fix it instead. When Kimmy shows up at the Lunas house for tutoring, Lance and Ilana are caught off guard. Kimmy explains the situation, but Lance and Ilana assume it will just be another disaster and storm out, leaving Newton alone to handle her constant attempts to cheat. Kimmy tries every trick she can think of, but Newton stays focused and refuses to take shortcuts. Over time, Kimmy opens up. She admits she feels trapped being seen only as a pretty cheerleader, and believes she has nothing else to offer. Newton reassures her that she is capable of more than that and encourages her to try on her own. For the first time, Kimmy listens. She decides to take the exam honestly. Later, Lance and Elaine return during a sudden Mutrati attack, interrupting everything. After the chaos is resolved by the Titan, Kimmy passes her exam on her own. The next day, she thanks Newton, and her attitude toward him shifts into something unexpectedly friendly, leaving Lance and Ilana confused but suspicious of what exactly happened while they were gone. Lance, Ilana, and Octis notice Solomon watching them as they leave school. Soon after, a large van arrives at their home, and Solomon appears with G3 troops. Octis tries to stop him, but Solomon disables his hologram and overpowers him. Lance and Ilana are captured and taken away while Octis gives chase. The van transforms and flies off, causing Octis to crash while following it. He later tracks it to a G3 spaceship. Inside the ship, Lance and Elena wake up in force field cells, their watches confiscated. They also see a prisoner resembling Solomon being tortured, raising confusion. Lance is interrogated and beaten when he refuses to talk. When the interrogator threatens Ilana, Lance fights back and frees her along with the other prisoner. Octis recovers their watches and reaches them inside the ship. They form the Sym-Biotic Titan and break through the structure. The prisoner is revealed to be Solomon, who joins them in the fight, confirming he was also being held captive. During the escape, the ship is badly damaged and Titan crashes back to Earth. Solomon warns that the situation is far from over. Later, the trio regroups at home to discuss G3 and what they discovered. Meanwhile, Solomon reports to a superior officer with a mechanical arm who warns him to never disobey orders again, hinting at a larger threat still to come. Octis and Kimmy convince Ilana and Lance to attend a Scary Mary party in the woods, an annual school event held in memory of a girl who supposedly vanished there in 1957 after being humiliated by a popular boy. At the party, Ilana tries to socialize and ends up talking to a geeky student named Jason, while Lance hangs hangs back near the van and chats awkwardly with a goth girl, Kristen. Octis detects a Mutrati life form in the area, and the trio investigates. They find a crashed pod and assume the threat is gone, so they return to avoid alarming the students. They are wrong. The Mutrati is still alive, a phantom chameleon monster that can mimic people. It blends into the crowd, disguises itself as Jason, and attacks Ilana. Lance intervenes just in time, and the group quickly realizes the entire party is in danger. The creature reveals its true form, sending the students into panic. Lance, Ilana, and Octis form Sym-Biotic Titan and fight the monster, but it escalates by transforming into a giant version of Kimmy, towering over the forest and causing destruction with every step. After a difficult battle through shifting illusions and brute force, they expose its weakness and defeat it, ending the threat and restoring calm to the ruined party site. Mucilox, a frog-like Mutrati, crash lands in a swamp, drawing Lance, Ilana, and Octis to investigate. They confront it, and Octis manages to shock the creature underwater, apparently killing it. But the victory is short-lived. Mucilox revives and strikes back, wrapping its tongue around Ilana's ankle and injecting her with a strange venom before escaping. Soon, the toxin begins rewriting her DNA, enhancing her strength and agility while slowly transforming her body. As the change worsens, Ilana encounters a mutated alligator suffering the same effect. The creature attacks, but she survives and kills it in self-defense, realizing she is losing control of herself. Fearing for her friends, Ilana runs deeper into the swamp. Lance and Octis find her, but she is now partially under Mucilox's influence. The creature summons its ship, planning to take her back to Mutrad. Before it can escape, Lance uses his armor to board the ship and kills Mucilox, causing the vessel to crash. With the link broken, Ilana collapses and briefly goes into cardiac arrest before recovering and returning to normal. Lance covers her with his sweater for privacy. Ilana, Lance, and Octis visit a museum on a school trip, where Ilana and Lance are emotionally affected by a Jackson Pollock painting, while Octis only analyzes it logically and struggles to understand their reactions. Soon after, people in a small town outside Paris suddenly freeze in place. The phenomenon spreads rapidly across the world, eventually reaching Alina and Lance as well. Octis travels to investigate and discovers the cause is linked to a signal from a closed rift gate. He tries to block the signal but fails, and the paralysis continues spreading. The rift gate then opens, releasing a giant bat-like Mutrati that uses ultrasonic waves to freeze living beings while searching for Ilana. Octis rescues Ilana and Lance, placing them on a moving railcar as a distraction. He then attacks the creature directly, damaging its throat and stopping the signal, which frees everyone from paralysis. With the threat neutralized, the trio forms Sym-Biotic Titan and destroys the creature in battle. Ilana creates something delicate, Lance paints with anger, and Octis produces a precise, still life. Disenfranchised, a popular band performs at Sherman High School, but only Lance stays behind, drawn in by their music. He buys a guitar and quickly improves from struggling beginner to skilled player. During cooking class, Octis detects a Mutrati creature emerging from a rift gate. The trio reunites and forms Sym-Biotic Titan, tracking the creature into a forest. Their usual attacks fail until Lance uses a technique called the Cronius Chain, learned from his time on Galuna, allowing them to defeat the monster. Back at school, Steve continues investigating, tightening suspicion around the group. Ilana and Octis eventually realize he is a government spy. Later, Lance is invited to perform with Disenfranchised and accepts, gaining sudden popularity. During the concert, Octis detects another Mutrati attack and uses illusions and holograms to keep their identities hidden from Steel, while the trio secretly forms Titan and defeats the creature again. On the day of a Mutrati invasion, Ilana abandons her tour to rescue a lost Xeno kitty, while Lance is on Galuna dealing with a hostage crisis. He disobeys orders to intervene, only to find the hostages dead and overhear Mutrati plans for invasion. Framed for insubordination by his commander, he is imprisoned, and the king loses trust in him. As the invasion begins, Ilana and Hobbs fight toward the palace while Lance escapes and discovers the attack is actually a coup led by his own commander. After defeating him in combat, Lance rushes to the palace and saves Ilana and the king. The truth is revealed too late, and the king gives Lance a Manus upgrade. Ilana, Lance, and Octis are forced to leave Galuna and escape through the rift gate into the unknown. Winter arrives in Sherman, Illinois, and Ilana is reminded of Galuna's Harvest Festival as she watches families enjoy the snow. At school, Ilana gets excited about the homecoming dance and convinces the planning committee to adopt a Harvest Festival theme. Just as the night begins, a rift gate opens and the Titan is called away. The monster attacks the dance, overwhelming them with speed. At the dance, Kimmy is crowned queen but waits sadly for Newton. Eventually, the Titan defeats the creature. In a space station orbiting Saturn, Solomon leads a G3 team through a massacre. On Earth, Octis Octis is surprised when Alana and Lance throw him a birthday celebration, calling it his activation day. They give him gifts and express how much he means to them, but the moment is interrupted when Octis receives a distress call from Solomon. Despite Lance's reluctance, the trio transforms into Titan and heads to the station. They find dead soldiers and are attacked by the energy creature, which disables their weapons and drains anything it touches. Solomon reveals the truth. The creature absorbs energy and permanently kills its victims. As they escape, tensions rise. In the final confrontation, Octis is fatally drained while protecting Lance and Alana. Lance, devastated, destroys the station with overwhelming force to stop the creature. Alana and Lance flee after Octis is left unresponsive, realizing they can't survive without him. The Mutrati continues its destruction, easily overpowering them in battle. Alana's armor is destroyed, but Lance saves her, and they escape the city, admitting they are no match alone. Alana regrets leaving G3, while Lance insists danger always finds them. They briefly try to recharge Octis using electrical systems, but it fails. News shows General Steel's HMER robot defeating the Mutrati. Lance realizes its energy core could revive Octis. They locate Steel's base and infiltrate it, but are caught and forced into battle. G3 arrives, rescues them, and Steel prepares for war. Kimmy, Meat, and her friends arrive at the Lunas house to find it empty, with scattered mail and newspapers. Meanwhile, Lance and Alana are taken aboard the G3 flagship, where Solomon provides shelter while scientists fail to reactivate Octis. With hope fading, General Steel launches an attack using the HMER, triggering a large-scale battle between G3 and Earth forces. Multiple Mutrati beasts emerge across the globe. G3 fights one in Paris, Steel battles another in San Francisco, and Lance and Alana face one in Sherman. They struggle without Octis until he suddenly returns, allowing them to form Titan and defeat their enemy. In Paris, Titan saves G3, earning Solomon's respect. After the battles, Alana longs for home, and Octis is restored, reuniting with them. Back in Sherman, Kimmy receives a message from Newton, leaving her relieved and emotional. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. See you in the next one.